Okie dokie team, this is video 3 of the goal setting series, how to set some really effective goals and resolutions for this year. And this one really ties into the previous video. So previously we were talking about thinking of your really big goal being at the top of a ladder. Could be a mountain, let's say you're going to climb a mountain, and there are milestones along the way to the top of that mountain. It might be the 1 kilometer mark, it might be the halfway mark, it might be the summit, or if it's a ladder, for example, it might be a weight loss of 10 kg at the top, and then each run is a step towards that. Okay, and this really ties into that. And so what I want to talk about today is the process, because no one thinks about the process. Everyone likes the idea of being a millionaire, everyone likes the idea of looking a little bit better naked, but no one thinks about what has to happen in order to get there. It's all well and good to dream and have these ambitions and desires, but if you're not actively engaged in a process which is going to get you there, then fucking forget it. It's just not going to happen, okay? So in terms of the process, if you want, for example, to lose 10 kilos, what does that process look like? And there isn't necessarily a right or wrong answer here. There are definitely things you can do which are going to be helpful, and there are definitely things you can do which are not necessarily going to speed up your progress or get you any closer towards that goal. But you need to decide where to begin, first of all. So start with where you're at. Some people start, for example, a weight loss journey with nutrition. Most people, I think, start with exercise because for them it's easy enough to go and sweat their butts off for an hour each day, which, by the way, is only 4% of your day. An hour is only 4%, it's nothing. Than it is to focus on the nutrition. There's not a right or wrong necessarily, but start with what is doable for you. So, for example, I'll use me as an example because I think it's don't want to blow my trumpet here. I think it's a good example, to be fair. So, a lot of you will know, some of you may not necessarily know, I swam for a very long time, and eventually, like it was supposed to happen, I came to a point where I was injured and could no longer swim, and spent about 2 years trying to find somebody who could help me with my injury. And when I did, that was like the best thing ever. I had to do a lot of rehabilitation work and really had to ease back into the gym. My stars all sort of aligned at the same time. I got a job at a gym and pool facility, which was amazing. And I started by going to the gym 3 times a week before my shift. I was just doing casual shifts. I was still studying at university. And that for me was really easy and really doable, to go to the gym for an hour, do whatever it was that needed to be done, go to work, and go home. For some people, starting with 3 times a week is going to be a challenge. And so what I want to point out is that was my easy, and that was a bit of a push because I was going essentially from nothing, no exercise for quite some time because of my injury, to then doing 3 sessions a week. But that was still manageable for me, okay? If you're doing nothing at the moment, going from 0 to 2 sessions a week is still better than 0 sessions a week, let's face it. So aim for progress, not necessarily perfection. So what you really need to do is incorporate these things into your routine. So for me, that was going to the gym 3 times a week. And I knew that I had weighed the most that I ever weighed and needed help with that. I then eventually went to see a nutritionist, and was monitoring my weight, more importantly my body composition, and that's what's got me to where I am today. So develop your process. As I said, start with where you're at. If you're currently going to the gym twice a week, can you ramp that up to 3 times a week? Can you incorporate that into your lifestyle? If you're currently eating out 4 times a week, can you reduce that to twice a week? Can you sort of home cook those, half of those meals and only do 2 of them at a restaurant or takeaway? If you're drinking, God, I hate to think how much some people drink. If you're drinking, for example, 3 nights a week, could you reduce that to twice a week? And don't have that 3rd day of alcohol across 2 days instead. That's not the message I'm sending. cut out that third day of drinking just completely. And often you'll find doing these things kind of snowball. So, you know, I started with 3 times a week at the gym after my rehabilitation work. That then became 4 times a week because 3 times a week became easy. And then 4 eventually turned to 5, and consistently it's now 5 or 6, just depending. And that's my normal now. But I definitely did not start at 5 or 6 times a week because my body was not in a position to do that because of my injury. I also probably would not have been able to move at any one point if I had just dived straight into that. So yeah, think about the process. What is it that you need to do? Like, what are the action steps? What is it that you need to do on a daily basis? What is it that you need to do on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, quarterly basis? What do you need to do? Because the weight doesn't come off by itself. So you really need to establish that, and some people need help with that. Feel free to send me an email or comment below if you need help with that. But definitely get a process down pat and take it from there. Cheers, guys.